Long, long ago, in a land not so far away, the British defeated Washington and his army at the Battle of Manhattan. Still being pursued by the British, Washington's army was fatigued and depleted, and needed a place to regroup and rest. The Revolutionary War was changed. Colonel Glover and his Marblehead Mariners held off the British advance, which had a force of nearly 7,000 British and Hessian troops. The ratio was nearly that of 9 to 1. Despite being outnumbered, the Marblehead Mariners managed to save the Revolution. Here's how they did it.
The British were held back by Glover's boys, who demolished their forces like they were nothing more than toys. Glover kept them away until they could escape, leaving the British commanders' mouths agape. A small force of 750 men took him by surprise. Glover, letting men's fire, barely harm an eyes. Fooled the Brits' men, because they changed their conception. As not they would lose, it was nothing more than deception. Washington's men were greatly depleted. They'd be carrying cannons with hand, and they were exhausted. They had just come from the Battle of Manhattan. They lost 300 and just wanted to escape. The spotter, Colonel Glover, was good at his job, so had 200 boats readying the cannonballs to lob. They were the British, ready to disembark, making the first mainland invasion of the war. At dawn, 7,000 from Howe's force landed on shore and changed the war's course. The Americans had little to spare, so Glover decided to take great care. When the Brits landed, high spirits they had, unaware that their fate was pretty darn bad. They marched on forward toward the pending battle, unaware the Americans were waiting to attack them.
The British were held back by Glover's boys, who demolished their forces like they were nothing more than toys. Glover kept them away until they could escape, leaving the British commanders' mouths agape. A small force of 750 men took him by surprise. Glover, letting men's fire barely harm an eyes, fooled the Brits' men because they changed their conception. As not they would lose, it was nothing more than deception. Reporting back to his men at Wait, Glover wasn't sure to attack or to wait. He would have given 1,000 worlds to have General Lee to help him decide. He wanted to know to attack or to subside. Once the Brits got 1.5 miles inland, Glover realized he had to take fate into his own hand. Glover sent a group of 40 men to attack, who almost made the British fall back. They scrambled to positions to encounter the Brits, readying their forces to take some hits. They hid behind stone walls for protection, appearing only when they were close enough for interception. The American bullets started to rain, the British men advancing with hardly any gain. The British men, concerned for their lives, decided to use guns and not knives. British fired upon them till they thought to retreat. The whole process went again and repeat. They scrambled to positions to encounter the Brits, readying their forces to take some hits. They hid behind stone walls for protection, appearing only when they were close enough for interception. The American bullets started to rain, the British men advancing with hardly any gain. The British men, concerned for their lives, decided to use guns and not knives. British fired upon them till they thought to retreat.
The British were held back by Glover's boys, who demolished their forces like they were nothing more than toys. Glover kept them away until they could escape, leaving the British commanders' mouths agape. A small force of 750 men took him by surprise, Glover letting men's fire barely harmonize. Fooled the Brits' men, because they changed their conception. As not they would lose, it was nothing more than deception. The muskets arose from behind the brick walls, causing Brits' men to take hard fatal falls. At one point, even in the lull of the fight, a young American boy was not fazed by the fright, hopping the wall to steal a souvenir, getting right back before the Brits' bullets appear. At the end of the rally, Glover's men fell back. The British had high spirits. They did not lack. At one point towards the end of the battle, the mariners were smart and butchered them like cattle. They went behind walls made of stone and beat the British down right to the bone. They trapped them between two intersecting roads. They fired on the Brits, who were their foes. They stayed an hour and a half, exchanging many rounds of lead on each other's behalf. The British had 7 guns of artillery, making Glover's men tactically retreat. The British approached, again firing their cannons. The Americans fired their own, but nothing really happened. After many hours, the cannon fire ceased. Neither side had lost many men in the heat. It had come to an end. The battle was over. The course of the war had finally been turned over. The British retreated to Dobbs Ferry, where their comrades' bodies would be buried. Alright, let's stop. There's totally not someone back there. Yeah, I can see you.
Observe as the wild high schooler fails to memorize his script.
Let's go!
them from me.
You're still here? It's over.